this type of national stage against the caliber and such a great opponent like Iowa State. The juice is high. It's exciting. Certainly grateful for the opportunity and looking forward to the opportunity.
First question is from Jeff Metcalf from the Arizona Republic. Jeff?
Yeah, this is for both coaches. With everything that's happened this year, what do you think has been learned? I'm talking about college football in general. What do you think that's been learned that might be applicable going forward to next season? Some things that might be different that have occurred because of this year.
Mario?
Yeah, certainly a lot of the same things by Coach Campbell. You really realize how much developing the intangibles that go with being a good football team. How you miss opportunities to develop those moments, those team bonding opportunities, the galvanizing of a team, the growth of its leadership, just all the functions and activities that involve guys being together and coaches and an entire organization spending time together. You realize how important those things are. So once there's clearance and there's more normalcy as it relates to life as this pandemic, we work our way through it. I think that'll be a big thing. And I think things like, the advent of Zoom and how that changed the ability to have team meetings and position meetings at home and be able to recruit and bring that to households as opposed to people having to be at your place all the time. And the list goes on and on and on, but certainly I think probably what really stands out is how to never take opportunities like this for granted, because it changed a lot of people's perspectives and certainly changed a lot of lives that a lot of people are still working through it. And we're much more fortunate than a lot of people out there in the world in the way that they've had to deal with the pandemic.
Next up, we'll go to Adam Rittenberg from ESPN.com.
Hey, good morning, guys. Happy New Year. I asked Matt this question earlier, so Mario, I'll ask it for you. There's more quarterbacks from the state of Arizona starting New Year's 6 games than any other state, and obviously both of you guys have those, and I know you have Ty coming in as well. What would you kind of attribute this to, this rise in quarterbacks from that state that obviously are going all over the country to play and have success?
Two things. Population has exploded, in the state of Arizona. And then just the caliber of coaching that you have here. I mean, you've got great programs that have been great programs for a long time. And, as they continue to invest more and more in their programs, the development of their players and their people, it just, you watch the amount of talent that's being developed. It's not just talent that's getting here, it's talent that's being developed here. And it's no longer a secret. I mean, it's certainly a focal point of our program to really establish great ties with the state of Arizona. And this year was probably our biggest year recruiting in the state of Arizona. And we want to grow that more and more, but certainly grateful to the coaches out here that gave us the opportunity and welcomed us to their programs to introduce ourselves and our program to its players.
We'll go to John Schaefer from WOI.
This is kind of for both coaches here. When you look across college football, players are opting out of bowl games across the board. Is that a concerning trend to you? And then how have you managed to keep your players, engaged for this week?
Yeah, no doubt. It's certainly different for every single player in every situation. We don't judge. We don't. And there are reasons that are legit. And when you look around the world, heck, coaches are opting out, right? I mean, there's signings going on. Next thing you know, coaches are out the door. So we don't judge anybody or anything. We're thankful for the fact that the program and everyone that surrounds it provides these guys with two promises: hard work and an opportunity. And with that being very honest, being very regimented, being fair, at the same time, caring, providing the right type of environment for guys to be successful in. And if you do that, you give yourself the best chance to promote the type of program, the type of continuity that you want. And but at the end of the day, it still has to be a choice, and leadership on this football team has done a really good job choosing to forge ahead and put together, a real special season for our guys. Proud of them for that, but certainly wouldn't judge them one way or the other. whoever's going to play football we're going to be there to coach them. So.
James Crapia from the Oregonian.
Mario, wanted to get an update on some personnel. CJ, Sala, Ajax, and Dante. Have they all traveled, and will they all play?
They've all traveled. They've all been practicing, so we're hopeful that they will play. It'll be a game time decision maybe before that, but I feel like they do have a chance to play.
AJ Jacobson from Rivals.
Yeah, this question is for both coaches. Looking at this matchup in the Fiesta Bowl tomorrow, your two defenses, very strong but in different ways. When you're preparing your offenses to face these defenses, what has stood out to you?
You know, we in Iowa State, again, what stands out right away is physicality. They get to the ball in a hurry. They get there with bad intentions, and they force a lot of issues, force negative plays, force that ball to come out. Very disciplined, and not just with eye discipline in terms of knowing where your help is. So when they get there in packs and in bunches. They not only prevent explosive plays, they create explosive plays on their side. Again, forcing negative plays or whatnot. But, you know, you've got a lot of power up front that collapses the pocket, you know, from the nose tackle to the it's a different front. We don't face the odd front very often in our conference, not like this. And it's something that's very different for us, but it works because it's coached really well and because of the explosive players. And up front, you know, that front seven causes issues because it closes the gaps. It knocks people back. Tremendous technique, feet in the ground, flat backs, hands inside, knocking people back. Again, collapsing the pocket. So those are things that you have to be at your best against, and you have to play your best physical and have your best mental approach to have success.
Lauren Williamson from the Oregon Ducks Football News.
Mario, there's been a disparity in games played this year, obviously, between you and Iowa State. Most coaches will tell you when you get to this point of the year, you want to be playing your best football. I just wondered if you feel that in these last couple of weeks, if you are on that level, are you guys playing your best football now here on the eve of the Fiesta Bowl?
Well, we certainly did 2 weeks ago, you know, so that's certainly a positive indication of the way that we're trending. And this will be the second game we play in 4 weeks. That's a little bit different too. So it's been that kind of a year, and I don't think there's a handbook or any true answers as to what's the formula to get there to play your best. But I know that we've had a lot of growth, especially between the ears, you know, upstairs in terms of maturity, in terms of understanding what we are as a team and what level of focus and intensity we have to get to play our best football. So we feel really good about that. Our players do as well. And, you know, just get along the lines of making sure that every single part of the process has a 1-0 aspect to it. And if we can do that, we feel that we can always put our best product on the field.
We'll go back to James Crapia, who had a follow-up question.
For both coaches, starting with Matt, story really for next week, but I was talking with Todd Berry, and I know the AFCA has been advocating for an expanded spring in light of last spring, a screwed up offseason, and obviously not 15 bowl practices for those of you who are in bowl games. If you got an expanded spring, one, I'm assuming you'd be in favor of it, you're a coach, but how many practices would you like and over what time period? Starting with Matt and then Mario.
Yeah, James, I think it'd be hard to squeeze anything else in. I don't think it fits. I mean, I think everyone wants more time with the players, and I'd welcome it in the form of skill instruction, of meeting time, guest speakers, team activities that maybe could be, you know, more along the lines of, right, these are not part of countable hours, but it has to be a team event. You can, you know, take your team on some type of developmental just venture. But in terms of trying to squeeze more padded days between now and a 21 season that's on schedule, I don't know if that's fair to the players, and I don't know if it really helps you. You know, it's like that old saying, right? It's easy to be tough with somebody else's body, right? Well, I think these guys have played far enough into the winter where, you know, everything seems to fall in line and be back on schedule with a normal spring and then into a normal summer.
We're getting close to the end here. We have Matt Preem, then John Schaefer, and Randy Peterson to close out the morning. Matt?
Yeah, Mario, could you maybe speak of the importance of the seniors who elected to come back and play this season. I know a couple of them had to make decisions of going pro or playing this year before COVID, and they ended up staying. And then I guess the second part of that question is just, what's the process now with seniors for their possibility to come back to school next year? How do you handle that?
Yeah, well, the first thing is, it's a lot of credit to the seniors for what they did. The Pac-12 was in a very different scenario than the rest of the country. You got to remember something. Our guys, all our seniors elected to come back for their senior year. They came back. They were in the summer program. It wasn't until the season was postponed without any effective or true date where then the decision was made, okay, well, now we really don't have an opportunity or may not have an opportunity to play. So then they moved on. So those are 4, NFL players, 2 of them generational, that were set and came back to play. And when that was stripped of them, they had to make those decisions. And a lot of them had the uncertainty of what was to follow. So that being said, all the guys that did, even after the fact, decided to come back, they played a tremendous role because I think there's been so much of a focus on the opt-out, and that word is out there. I don't think there's enough focus on opting in. And you're looking at 2 teams that are playing tomorrow, teams that have opted in, right? Teams that made a decision to play because not only has there been a safe environment provided, but there's a tremendous cultures coming together and providing an opportunity for these guys to chase their dreams and fulfill and accomplish and set their legacies going forward. So that's my feeling on that. In terms of the guys for next year, I guess they're tabbing that. A lot of new terms, opt in, opt out, super seniors. Is that the word we use now for seniors that come back? Super seniors. Okay. In terms of that, we're meeting with each guy individually. We're respecting their space and having all focus on this right here. We stayed in town for Christmas because we felt it was the safest way to establish and maintain protocol and get here effectively. So after this game, they're going to have 2.5, maybe a little bit more time, weeks off, I should say. But in that time, we will be meeting and talking about what the future holds to see how it fits, what situation is best for each player. And we'll go from there. But certainly, yeah, we'd love to have a bunch of these guys back. They played, what was it, the 6 games and now a 7th game, and one by one and figure that out.
Thank you, John Schaefer from WOI.
For both coaches, what do the next 24 hours look like for you specifically? And then are there ever nerves associated the night before a game like this?
Yes, sir. Very similar, normal processes. This will be the first time that our players play in front of human beings, like actual fans in the stands. First time their parents, one and only time though, that their parents will have a chance to see the 2020 team play. So while at the same time understanding that the best way you can honor that opportunity is by playing your best and be focused on what your job is, and making sure you're playing and showing how much this means to you and to your teammates. But yeah, big stages, and these guys can't help. They turn on the TV, and every other second there's something about the Fiesta Bowl on there and the matchup, and they know the caliber of opponent that we're playing. They know it's a great football team. So they're very, very eager and excited about the opportunity, but the processes for the rest of the day and tomorrow will be normal game day processes.